Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today I'll be trying to answer a question a lot of people are asking, like why are fuses not used anymore? People open their circuit breakers, their distribution boxes today, and they don't see fuses. They are like, oh, has circuit breakers taken over fuses? So today I'm going to answer that question. If you ever had that in mind, so just stay tuned and follow me to the end. So the first thing we need to understand is, what is a fuse? A fuse is one of the oldest electrical protection devices ever invented. Its main purpose was to protect electrical circuits from excessive current. So inside every fuse we have a fuse element, which is always made of tin or lead, right? So in normal case, when the current is normal as per the fuse rating, it is normal, the circuit is complete. When we have excessive current or too much current flows through the heat, the fuse element heats up, and the fuse element is going to heat up until it is going to melt. And when it melts, it has broken down the circuit, and by doing this, it has protected a lot of our loads at home from excessive current and probably damage, right? So that is basically how a fuse protects from overcurrent. It protects by the melting of the fuse element. So why did home stop using fuses? The thing we need to understand about fuses is that when it comes to domestic installations, basically we use two common fuses: the cartridge fuses and the rewirable fuses. For the cartridge fuses, when there's high current, the fuse just blows up and it gets destroyed like this. So if there's a case of overcurrent, the fuse just gets destroyed and you will need to replace it with a new one before you have power in your house. So just imagine you have a situation like that. You need to call for an electrician, and he's going to need to buy a fuse that has the same rating like the one that was destroyed before you can replace it. And again, there was another kind of fuse that, like the one we had where I was living, is called a rewirable fuse. So when the fuse blows up, when the fuse element melts, you need to look for the same tin or the same lead of the same cross-sectional area like the one that just melted, and replace it. And what happened a lot of times is that a lot of those technicians will not find that exact one. How usually happens is that when the fuse melt, they don't even know the exact size of the fuse element that was there. They don't know the exact metal that was there. So some people will just take copper conductors and just cross so that there's going to be electricity, right? Therefore, they have ruined the purpose of a fuse, because the fuse is there to protect. If the fuse element melts and you replace it with copper, definitely that protection part is no longer there. So if the wrong fuse rating is installed, the protection could become inactive and dangerous. Exactly what I'm trying to say. And again, the bottom line is that with fuses, it is inconvenient. So that is why we have the modern way now, which is circuit breakers. Now compare a fuse to a circuit breaker. You're going to realize that instead of melting, a circuit breaker simply trips, right? A circuit breaker trips, and as long as there is excess current or short circuit, if you try to put on the circuit breaker, it is still going to trip, right? Once the fault is fixed, the circuit breaker can be put on and the circuit works normally. So in this case, you can have multiple faults with one circuit breaker and it is the same. Whereas with the fuse, one fault equal either replacement of the fuse or replacement of the fuse element. So when you compare these two side by side, you're going to realize that the circuit breaker is faster to restore service, it is more convenient, it is easier to maintain, and it is safer for users likely to install the wrong replacement. So circuit breakers won because they are safer, faster, simpler, and smarter, right? But now we're going to talk about why circuit breakers are easy to be used at home. Like I said, they are reusable. Unlike fuses, they don't need replacing after every fault. They are easy to reset. Just turn it back on if the fault has been fixed. It is better for fault identification. If you come to a house where you go to your distribution board and there's a fault in the kitchen, right? The circuit breaker that controls the kitchen is going to go off, and you just go there and you'll be able to identify that, oh, this fault is coming from this part of the circuit, right? And again, it is also have increased safety, because a circuit breaker don't just protect from overcurrent, it protects from short circuit and overload as well. So that is one thing that a circuit breaker has over a fuse. And again, the fuse cannot provide all this protection. True, the fuse cannot protect against overload, short circuit, air leakage, and arc faults, but modern circuit breakers can protect. One circuit breaker can protect for all of these faults right here. And now the ultimate questions: are fuses obsolete? The answer is absolutely not. We still have fuses almost everywhere in our extension cords. We still have it. We have it inside our televisions, we have it inside our microwave, we have it inside power supplies, we have it inside plug adapters. We still have fuses, but now we have them in small devices because they are inexpensive and they are extremely reliable when it comes to such applications. So no, fuses are not obsolete. Fuses are still used in electrical, mostly electronics, household equipment, right? And yeah, this is a simple breakdown of fuses and circuit breakers. Fuses, one fault you need to replace, but circuit breakers can be used for multiple faults, right? And like I said, after every fault you need to replace, but for circuit breakers you can just reset. The fuse, the design is simple, while the circuit breaker, the design is more complex. And the fuse is cheaper and the circuit breaker definitely more expensive because it has higher technology. And fuses nowadays are mostly common in electronics and high voltage systems, while circuit breakers are mostly common in homes and in commercial buildings. And why did homes stop using fuses? I think I've explained that already. Because circuit breakers are easier, they can be reset, they are easier to maintain, and they offer additional protection. So thank you for watching this video. If you find this video helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and see you on the next video.